12-year-old Kiam Browne is one of the 1.5 million who play organised youth football in England, yet the stats aren't on his side, with 180 making it as a Premier League pro. That's a success rate of 0.012%. He's been part of the Man City select under-11s, and it was a gruelling schedule that his mum says put a real test on their commitment.
It was a case of collecting him sometimes from school. He would have a sandwich in the car, which isn't uncommon for a lot of the academy boys who are travelling from various parts of the country to get to these academies.
Mondays I did this Leeds development thing. On Tuesdays I do Harrogate Town, which is a local club. Then on Wednesdays I did Bradford. Thursdays I did my own practicing, and Fridays. And Saturday and Sunday I played for York Schoolboys on a Saturday and Fulford for a Sunday.
I think the commitment and duty of care you have as a parent sometimes could be questioned because of what you're actually putting your child through. As much as you want to give them the opportunity, you've also got to be mindful that they're still only children.
Academy was pretty hard because you didn't know any of the people when you first went there, and to knowing all the people from knowing none of them, it's a big change. And when you play in football, it doesn't feel like anything, because it doesn't matter if you know them or not, you just play football.
It was always fast, quick, one touch, two touch. It was just constant for the hour and a half that he was there. And so it should be, because it's Man City. And, you know, for him to get to that sort of level and be performing twice a week, it does take a lot out of them. But he loved it and does love it.
And what's the kind of aspiration, the dream for you to
Just to become a professional football player.
Simple as that.
West Ham United is a club synonymous with producing some of the country's best young talents, and with first-team boss Manuel Pellegrini keen to give youngsters a chance, those here at Chadwell Heath, if they apply themselves right day in day out, may be rewarded with that all-important first-team appearance.
Away from the glitz and glamour of playing in some of the best stadia in the country, there's countless hours put in behind the scenes to give these players every chance of success. Some of West Ham's talents include Declan Rice, Michael Carrick, Mark Noble and Frank Lampard. Another is Jack Collison, a player who had his playing career cut short at 27. He's trying to impart his knowledge on the next generation of footballers here at the Academy of Football.
To be an ex-player, it was nice to come back to the academy, where I'd come through myself. Currently working with the under-18s, which are a really good group. Having to walk away from the game you love is tricky, and I was thrown in at the deep end at Peterborough with their under-18 side, and it was sink or swim. The thing is, they're getting an opportunity at the moment under the current management, which is great for them. It gives them a bit of hope that what they're doing is worthwhile. It's fantastic to be getting paid for what you do, but that's when the real hard work starts, and you do have to start taking it serious, because there's so many talented youngsters. It really is the small percentages which will make the difference, whether your diet's right, whether you're getting your sleep in, are you recovering properly. And all these small little things add up along your journey, and it is hard work at times. People probably only see the Saturday, they see the finished product, they don't see the day in, day out, what goes on throughout the week.
Non-league football is littered with players who were released from academies from an early age and forced to drop down a few levels in order to remain involved in the game. Chelmsford City are a National League South side, and Rhys Murphy, part of last season's squad, began in Arsenal's highly regarded setup. Matt Young was in the same Southampton academy as Gareth Bale and Luke Shaw, while Scott Fennick tried his hand at three of the biggest North East clubs in Newcastle, Sunderland and Middlesbrough. He's now a UEFA qualified regional development coach at Cambridge United, and he's trying to use his experience from non-league to encourage his players' development while preparing them for a career after football.
So from a coaching point of view now, going into the academy, I could say 90% of the parents in my age groups believe that their sons will be professional footballers, and they're 10. So I'd try and be as honest as I can So I try and obviously put that point across for them early doors and say, yeah, just because you're in Cambridge Academy at under 11s doesn't mean your son's going to make it as a professional footballer. However, we'll give them the tools, the psychological element, the coaching, everything they need, whereas if they don't make it as footballers, they've got different skills and probably life drills that they can take into their general life. So Academies is not just about football, there's a whole lot of other scopes that go with it as well. Winning isn't seen as the most important. So what I find is when obviously lads are playing in the lower leagues for mortgages and money and bonuses, I think some of the academy players will come down and they don't actually understand how to win a game or so how to develop. Like Jordan Pickford's a prime example. Obviously he got sent to Dalton as a 16, 17-year-old, was playing men's football from that age, and obviously he went out on different loans, different places, and now he's England's #1 at 26-year-old, you know what I mean?
Goals are the glory side of football, aren't they? It's the part of the game we all want to be involved in. But in order to get to that point, it takes a hell of a lot of hard work, determination, perseverance and self-discipline. What happens on these parks is just a tiny microcosm of all the work that goes into it leading up to that week. It's getting it right in the gym, the right nutrition, the right sleep. And I do feel like clubs like West Ham, your Man Cities, your Arsenals and your Chelseas are starting to get it right and putting plans in place for a longer career for these players, whether it's in coaching or still involved in the game. There still is plenty of work that needs to be done though to make sure all these kids that are snapped up at young ages are ready for the rigours of the professional game and to make sure that they can flourish in the beautiful game that we all know and love.